Welcome back to another episode of Cascade Valley. This time is for a national championship. Our team has been putting up number after number after number, and we've had a really good year. James Hester, 45 passing touchdowns, 22 picks, 4,000 passing yards on the season. Even Dean Longa got a little preview of what he might be like coming up this season, but our guys across the board have been really good. Fowler should cross 1,000 yards this game if he has a good national championship game. I think if he hits 1,000 yards total this season, it's because we won the national title. If he doesn't hit it, probably because we lost. Carmazzi has been writing the record books. 25 receiving touchdowns for this man on 45 grabs is a disgusting ratio that we still can't comprehend. And defensively, I've been really happy with how Sean Lewis has played. 81 tackles, 9 for a loss, a couple of sacks on the year, a couple of interceptions. He's kind of been a do-it-all kind of guy with 12 pass deflections too. But from a sack perspective, it's been Damian Butts, 18.5 on the year. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's coming back next year. You'd love to see that. And Earl Kindred, who is leaving this season, 11.5 sacks for him, but look at his stat line. 61 tackles, 23 for a loss, 4 interceptions alone with his 11.5 sacks. He's got a deflection. He's got a forced fumble. This man has 2 touchdowns, which his first career defensive touchdowns happened in the last game. Like, this guy is absolutely insane. Even our kicker has been incredible. Don Vitek is 17 of 17 in the year with a 52-yarder as his long one. He doesn't have the crazy leg, but he's efficient 52 yards and in. And he has not missed a single extra point this season at all. Everything is working for CVU, but it's down to the national title now. Now, the Texas Tech roster is what stands between us and a national title. For the first time in school history, we have a chance to play for one, and we need to win one for Coach McMervin. Now, the roster seems pretty solid. They're only 84 overall, which I think is attributed more to them not having crazy depth than anything else. But they are the only other team that's undefeated this season. It's between us and them to see who is the only undefeated team ever to win a national championship in this dynasty so far. But their guy, Jaden Salvo, he stole, in our opinion, the Heisman Trophy away from Enrique Carmazzi. We're not going to forgive that. He's not super fast. He's got really good arm strength at a 94 for throw power. His accuracy's kind of in the 80s across the board, but we want to lock him up today. And then on the ground, they have Enrique Espinoza, their version of Enrique here. 89 overall, 90 speed. They've got a guy behind him as a senior, 82 overall with 89 speed. There are other running backs that are a lot faster, but they're leaning on Espinoza for the majority of it. And in the air, they're going to have John Wagner as their top guy, a senior redshirt, not fast, but he's a dog. He's got Press Pro at Platinum. He's got Gold Cutter. He's got Bronze Double Dip. He's absolutely a guy that can route run across the board, but he's not going to be a burner per se. But a burner they have is Enrique Sepulveda? Took me a second. Sepulveda's got really good speed across the board. Great catch in traffic. Great catch overall. This wide receiver room needs some work after those two guys, but they've got some talent. Can they put Santiago Pilares in the game because 83 speed? Yeah, we can guard him. Now, we always love to look at their corners, and their top guy, Alex Amano, is an 89 overall, but as you can tell, sub 90 speed for him, sub 90 speed for Trevor Shaw. Their guy that's probably their slot guy is going to be a 96 speed, 89 Excel guy. So, in my opinion, Carmazzi should play a pivotal role in this game because 3 of their top 4 guys are sub 90 speed corners, and we can absolutely abuse that. They are really good in man, 94, 90, 89, and 91. In zone, they're pretty good as well. Weigert, though, isn't as good in zone as some of the other guys, but this is still a very good corner group, but not if you're stretching the field. Underneath, they can lock you up, but anything past that, it's anybody's game. Ladies and gentlemen, the trophy that we hope Coach McMervin is hoisting at the end of today's game. The national title trophy. It was on the field. We got a glimpse of it. But if we want to see it again, it's got to be from a W. Look at James Hester getting the squad ready. We are on the field, ready to get after it. Texas Tech is a very good team. They've been undefeated, but they ain't played a team like us. I can bet you that. Those all-white jerseys going to look a little dirty after today's game because we're getting after it. Our first drive here in the national championship game. Man, it feels good to see CVU out here. First play. Right to Daniel Keaton. Keaton is going to be, again, we talked about it before, a major part of the team next year, but we need him big tonight. Hester out here. Gets it out to Quisenberry. Quisenberry has been stepping up week after week, and what a big run after the catch there for Quisenberry. We talked about it pregame, but we've got to make sure our guy, Dylan Fowler, is a huge part of this game. He needs 78 yards. Math is hard. 78 yards to get 1,000 tonight, and what a start. It's been a disappointing season for Dylan Fowler, but it would all be all right in his book if he gets a national title with his least productive year. Second down, 8 yards to go. Hester feels the pressure and goes down. Good, just lapse of judgment. We don't want to really risk anything here. We want to kind of play it safe if we can. Points are going to be important. in this national title game. And Fowler, solid run for the catch, but it's only going to get us about the 12-yard line. Field goal coming up. So our kicker, we talked about it earlier, has not missed at all this season. And he says, I'm not missing right now either. 3-0 lead for Cascade Valley. First time on defense. Let's see what Salvo actually can do out here, man. I am so annoyed the fact that this guy won the Heisman. Let's see how good he is. Texas Tech immediately goes to the hurry up here. Second is short. Sean Lewis kind of inching up to the line a little bit. They're going to send a man in motion. They go right to the running back. Great read by them. Good adjustment. Salvo back to the motion here. They get to the edge. Okay, this running attack is definitely something they're going to lean on. We're not used to that. Texas Tech historically has been a program where they pass more than anything else. So it's kind of been weird to see them go to the run so much early on. I feel like they're going right back to it here. The running back goes, but Bryce Cheek is there to stop him. Little adjustment here again. They're in a double stack formation. They go to the edge, and he's wide open. What a hit, but he's wide open. What's been a little tough for us is they've just kept us in this little 3-3 that we've been in, and they are just efficient. I see why this offense has been clicking. 2nd and 2, their running back is gassed beyond belief. We light him up, but they go for an incomplete pass underneath. 3rd and 2. They go with the run, and look at Steve Tubbs lock in. CVU's defense as good as advertised. Texas Tech might have the Heisman winner, but we got a whole bunch of dudes who are winning awards on defense this year. And look at Dylan Fowler, boot scooting boogie for Nate. Fowler comes out, Monty Dog comes in again. His final game, win, lose, or draw. We need him to be a huge part. 4-man front here. Get him with a little trickeration, and oh, Hester's got to get rid of that. 2nd and 21 again. Hester, a little too long on that. That was scary. Got to give credit where credit's due right now. They've been locking up our guys. We're trying to go one over the top. And again, Texas Tech defense, they're stepping up huge. Texas Tech comes out here in a 3rd and 2 in midfield. We're trying our best to get to the QB, and he throws one, but his momentum carries him back to make it 4th and 4. Our offense has come out, and they've tried to make some plays, but it's just been holding on to the ball too much. Not trusting in what got us here. And a close play that does nothing for us. 2nd quarter is here, and again, we are still fighting for our lives. Nice pass here again to Quisenberry, who only gets us about 7. Texas Tech is pretty heavy here. No safety help. They kind of expect what we're doing, and they're all over it. Coach McMervin, in a little bit of kind of a scary move here, is going to go for it on 4th and 3 from his own 42. His guys are here. He's going to trust Quisenberry, who already has a couple of grabs this game. He's been a major part of the offense. A first down feels incredibly foreign to this team right now. Hester's going to try to move a little bit, maybe gets 4 on that run. Talked a lot about Texas Tech's corners not really having a lot of speed, but the way they've schemed everything so far, they haven't really needed that. This ball is thrown right by the corner. He didn't see it, but no, Femi Kahu goes down, one of our best offensive linemen, and that is a leg injury, which does not look good. Femi has been a staple of this offensive line. We've already seen some pressure from Texas Tech sort of happen. If he's not in there, I expect a lot more. We found out that he just has leg cramps, and that's good. We're actually going to keep him out of the game for maybe this drive and get him back in going into the 2nd half. 2nd and 7, we're driving, trying to get in the end zone. We get the ball to Monty Dog. Monty Dog does what he does best, which is fight. But it's not enough. Fowler comes back in the game looking for his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. His 3rd consecutive year of double-digit touchdowns. Again, a lower year than what it has been for him, but still a productive one. Under 3 minutes left. Texas Tech actually goes 3 and out, so we've got the ball with a chance to kind of cook here. A risky one, but another dot to who else but Quisenberry. Quisenberry's got 4 grabs. He's been the most productive player in the game for us right now on offense. You'd love to see how he's stepping up, giving us a preview of maybe next year. Too many warnings here. We got a 10-point lead. Dylan Fowler. There's going to be Monty Dog getting involved in the receiving game like usual. Hester out here again. Oh, fine. He's got a beautiful route drawn up there. And listen, Texas Tech, where you at now? Texas Tech has found a way to get down inside the 30 right now. We've got to be careful, and oh my God, Salvo, what a dot. We're going to switch up and do a little bit of man coverage. We've been in zone, I think, the majority of today's game, but I think some man would kind of do us wonders. And ladies and gentlemen, Jabari Okafor, the greatest corner in Cascade Valley history. We didn't say he was fast, but the man can play corner. The squad is absolutely cooking. The defense steps up. I mean, if the defense is playing like this, I don't know what to tell them. Look at Steve Kiernan get down. We'll use our first time out. Listen, I don't want to be too crazy here, but we might see Dean Longa come into this game. Like, this is where we're at right now. We might see a preview of our starter next year. Ooh, Carmazzi over the top. Carmazzi, a throw by Hester. Ladies and gentlemen, another one. A new half for Texas Tech. here in the third quarter, actually late in the third quarter. And this team is just struggling. They have not put up points on the board. They got a guy that says he's the Heisman, but I don't know about that. You're down 24-0 in the national championship game, and you're punting the football at the midfield. Couldn't be us. Third quarter pretty much over at this point. I mean, you're just going to press cover Enrique Carmazzi, and we miss him on the throw. Okay. I'll be honest, we got a little bit too crazy there. Now they have a single high safety because they're like, all right, that dude's kind of fast. Hester, great escaping. We don't really say that a ton. Dylan Fowler after the catch. Hold on now. We're at a point right now where it's the fourth quarter. We're cruising. Another touchdown, I think, pretty much just seals the deal for some of our backups getting a chance to shine. Also, keep in mind, Hester got kind of lit up a little bit earlier, so his wear and tear is not exactly great at the moment. I mean, can you just... You want to guard this man? Because he's special and he deserved the Heisman. Rumor is that... The rumors that Patrick Mahomes has already went home. He's seen enough. He doesn't believe in this team. Salvo, they thought he was the Heisman. They thought he was the best player in the nation. They were wrong. It's Enrique Carmazzi. Oh, nice spin move, though. Coach McMervin was seen on the sidelines ripping his shirt off. This is a 60-plus-year-old man ripping his shirt off, yelling, if they score. And then there were some expletives. We don't really know what exactly was said after that, but he was not happy. Earl Kendrick gets the sack on the last play. Could be his final collegiate sack, as he will go down as one of the greatest players in Cascade Valley history. Up there with some of the best. And they force another drop. 4th and 18 here in 2030. All these seasons later, Cascade Valley has been grinding, trying to figure things out. And we got guys like Sean Lewis saying, hold on now. Hold on now. We're bringing one home. As we embark on this next drive with 5 minutes left in the game, up 31-0. Dean Longa and a couple other people are getting a little bit of time to shine here. Jock Forbes, who typically only plays defense, is actually a pretty decent wide receiver. We're going to get him an opportunity to play. And, okay, Dean Longa, that was painful. 3rd and 21. This Dean Longa drive exactly didn't go the way maybe we thought it might, but... All right, okay, apparently they were ready. After a really bad punt, Texas Tech is on the doorstep of scoring potentially here. Coach McMervin was basically seen foaming at the mouth, saying, do not let them score, in a bunch of expletives. And Jabari Okafor heard him. As much as we want to give credit to Jabari Okafor in the interception, a lot of pressure was driven there by Earl Kindred. So without Earl Kindred, we don't know exactly if that one happens, but still, a great play all around by this CVU defense. As we sit here on what is probably one of the final drives in this game, we are absolutely trying to cook. And we're going to float this ball over the top and find Bobby Whiteheart, a guy that has not gotten a ton of playing time this year, but he's an electric one. The offense back in the field, and yes, we are trying to run it up because that is what we do, baby. Longa unleashes the cannon over the top. And Whiteheart is in the end zone. The Heisman Trophy winner. Can't even get points for his team. Sounds like a fraud to us. Oh, he got a first down. But you're not getting points here, buddy. Salvo again, desperately screaming, crying, peeing himself this entire game. Scared of this defense. But he won a Heisman, though. At what cost? Another! He dropped it. Jabari Okafor was trying to get 3 interceptions for the second time in his career in one game, but it's not going to happen. We thought he was. Oh, Salvo trying to run? Nah. And that is going to do it. Confetti will rain down. The Cascade Valley players are national champions for the first time in school history. Even Dean Longa got in the game today. He might be the future. Maybe he won't. But you know who's not the future? Every single player at Texas Tech. They did not deserve the Heisman. They were frauds. They didn't play anybody all year. And when they played the best team in all of college football, what happened? A story they'll never want to tell their grandchildren. Coach McMervin, though, will tell his grandchildren about the greatness of this team. The 2030 Cascade Valley Coyotes are one of the best to ever do it. That man has armpit sweat all over the place because the fans were so hyped at what was going on. James Hester, your player of the game, 271 through the air, 75% completion rate, one of his best in 3 touchdowns total. Maybe it's his last game starting, maybe it's not. But the dude put up a heck of a season and brought CVU the first national title. And there we go. The CVU players put their helmets back on for one final picture. The national title is going back to Akron, Ohio. Recapping the stats for the game again, Hester, you saw the stat line. He was electric today. 3 passing touchdowns. I think it gives him 48 on the season, which I believe should give him the most in all of college football this year. Longa, 3 of 4, 1 touchdown. He did have some rough moments in that first drive, but again, he settled in and He showed that the man's got a cannon. On the ground, Fowler unfortunately does not reach that 1,000-yard mark, but we just kind of wanted to run the score up a little bit. One touchdown for him does give him double digits, but the 1,000-yard streak officially is over. In the air, Warren Quisenberry was fantastic. The freshman goes 4 for 59. We also saw Ben Whiteheart, not Bobby Whiteheart, which is what I was calling him the entire game. Ben Whiteheart goes 3 for 107 and a touchdown. Carmazzi gets 2 additional touchdowns for his unbelievable season again. He should have won the Heisman. Defensively, Jabari Okafor had a game. 9 tackles, 3 for a loss, 2 interceptions. He's the greatest to ever do it at Cascade Valley. The greatest corner we have ever seen. Jabari Okafor, number 8, will forever go to a senior athlete moving forward at Cascade Valley. Could be offense, could be defense, but if they got to wear it, they got to be a dog like Jabari. And the best thing we've seen in all the seasons we put together, national champions, Cascade Valley. It's been an incredible journey for Cascade Valley, and we got plenty of years to go. But we started in 2024 as a new program, 7-6. We go to 10-4 the following year, but we don't have anything. No bowl games, no nothing to celebrate. We go to 12-2 for no bowl wins, I should say. We go to 12-2 in our 3rd year. We end up going to the MAC championship, win that, Camellia Bowl, and win that. We move on to the Big Ten, we win the Big Ten championship in our 1st year, win it again in our 2nd year, and win a Rose Bowl game, but have heartbreak against Wisconsin, who we got revenge on this year. And then finally, in year number 6, Big Ten champions, Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, and most importantly, national champions to cap off an undefeated season, the only team in CFP history to do it so far. You love to see it. Before we recap the final bit of, our stats for the season, see how some of our seniors did over the course of their careers, here's what the bracket ultimately was. We had the first round bye. NC State beat Auburn. We then beat NC State by a ton. We faced Ohio State in a much closer game. And then Texas Tech, who had an undefeated run, didn't realize what they were playing. Them Coyotes. Now we have some players that might be moving on potentially. So I want to look at some of their career stats here. From a passing perspective, this was the first year that Hester really got to play. So there's not a lot to really look at there, but a great year by him regardless. On the ground, Fowler has run for 3,200 yards. We expect him to come back, but in case he leaves, almost 50 touchdowns. Monty Dog, not a great runner. 122, 420, 5 touchdowns over the course of his career. Not a lot to really love there on the ground for him, but he was much better in the air. 52 for 599 and 8 touchdowns over the course of his career. Carmazzi already has 27 touchdowns, which is way more than Kiernan, despite having like a third of the actual receptions that he does. But Kiernan had a great career. 154 receptions, 2,600 yards, and 21 touchdowns, and 944 yards after the catch. He was a dog. Defensively, Jabari Okafor's career was legendary. 260 tackles, 20 for a loss, 5.5 sacks, 19 interceptions. But Steve Tubbs was one behind him at the end of their careers. If Okafor doesn't get 2 interceptions, he would have been tied with Tubbs for, I believe, the most ever in CVU history. But instead, Okafor gets that one extra one, and he becomes the all-time leader for interceptions in Cascade Valley. And also to note, Earl Kindred, 3 defensive touchdowns, more than anybody else. Okafor only had 1, mostly because he's a little bit slow out there. But Tubbs ends up getting 2. From another senior perspective, Okafor has 1. And that was the only guy that really scored. Now, as we head into the offseason, one of the most important parts is the players leaving stage. And right now, I did not expect Jock Forbes to be potentially leaving, but our chance to persuade him to come back is incredibly low. We were going to use him on offense and defense in his senior year. We have an extremely low chance. He's projected to be a first rounder, which is great for us as a school, but if we persuade him, he's not coming back. I don't blame him either. Wes Potts is a little bit different. He's projected to be a 6th rounder. He's a guy that we have a really high chance of getting him to come back. So I expect him to be back officially. He decides to stay, which is good for us. He should be starting. But for all the guys essentially leaving now, Femi Kahu is going to be a 6th round projected, which is kind of wild. I feel like he's a bookend left tackle, in my opinion. Earl Kindred's projected to be a 4th rounder. Some team should get him way earlier. He's a dog. Steve Tubbs, a 2nd rounder, and Jabari Okafor, a 1st rounder. I think we all kind of expected that. And, well, Jock Forbes is going to be a 1st rounder as well. So we've got potentially 2 1st rounders, maybe 3 if a team takes a gamble on Tubbs, but Okafor and Forbes are both 1st round draft picks potentially. It shows how good our secondary was. The rest of the guys we have leaving, Carlos Fine was one of the best transfers we've ever had. He was massive for this offense this year. Keenan Toon was great in the interior. Mike Owen was injured. I feel bad for him. Saliga, good riddance, buddy. He punted 25 yards half the time. Paul Kahn never really got to be what we thought he might be. Kiernan was great. Brody Mayer was great. Manny Marshall could have been so much better than what he was, but he just couldn't get time really on the field to develop. And then Monty Dog, another guy that we thought maybe would have been a Reggie Bush type. He just never really found that way to do it. And while we're sad of some of our players leaving, we do get good news here that Ezekiel Zombo, the right end that we've been trying to track for a couple of weeks now, is going to be coming to Cascade Valley. This is a good boost because we lost some guys on the D-line. Along with him, we get James Peters, a center. Again, offensive line, we are trying to stack it and make sure it's as good as possible. Now, from a draft perspective, we do have 2 first-rounders. Okafor and Forbes both go in the first round, which is amazing news for us. We see Tubbs go in the second round. Kindred does go in the third round, which I feel like he could have even been a second-rounder, in my opinion. Femi Kahu goes in the 5th. And then Kiernan, I don't think he was actually projected to be drafted, does go in the 7th rounder, probably the Patriots, if I had to imagine. But this dude is going to be a stud for somebody in the NFL. We just wrapped up an unbelievable recruiting class. We have a chance to be the #1 recruiting class in the nation. And this guy, Nolan Blair, I know you might say a 4-star. Okay, how good can he be? Aaron Donald good. Now, for the first time in Cascade Valley, we not only won a national championship, but we became the #1 recruiting class in the nation. And I talked about our 2029 commits. You see all the 5 stars they have listed there, but look who the #1 guy is above all of the 5 stars we have. It is the 4-star Nolan Blair. He's going to be that good, I promise. So looking at Nolan Blair again, the 4-star transfer is going to come in and be a senior this year. He is an elite dev trait defensive tackle with 99 strength, 95 tackle, 88 power moves, 90 hit power, and 75 speed. This dude's got 4 abilities, one of them being gold. The rest of them are going to be silver. I am beyond excited to see him on the field. We also get an impact right tackle in Timmy Cook. We are going to move on to Jorge Slade, who's going to come in as a senior. Pretty solid stuff overall, but he's only a normal dev trait, but he's a one and done for us. Dion Maryland's going to be an impact athlete, probably an edge guy if I had to imagine here. We're going to have Ed Harris, who's going to be a star vertical threat tight end. Again, I know we talked about Fenton really having an opportunity to play this year, but maybe not start. Jamie Figures will be a power back for us with an impact dev trait. Another good running back here in Chester Days, an elusive back with an impact dev trait. Filipovich, a strong safety coming in with an impact dev trait. All these guys are high school recruits at this point. We got a normal for James Peters. We've got an elite one for Ezekiel Zombo, a 3-star athlete, probably defensive end again, elite dev trait. You love to see it. One of our prize recruits we got this offseason. Impact for Troy McKnight. Jay Adler is going to be a normal dev trait. We're going to see a punter, normal dev trait, not surprised. Gordy, a lot of these guys you've kind of seen, but again, star for Juan Morrison. We're going to also have elite for Camo Daniel, a corner coming in, which is a massive position of need because we just lost 2 first-round draft picks there. A star for Siaki Homer. Trent Watford's going to be another corner with a star dev trait. So again, he's going to help out really well with Daniel. Impact. We have another star with Phil Carmada at middle linebacker. Defensive end coming in out of high school that's got an elite dev trait. Ostergaard with an elite dev trait. Sneed comes in as strong safety with a star. Shepley comes in with a normal, and Burwell comes in with an elite dev trait. This is the most stacked recruiting class ever. You see why we're #1. So after seeing how just fantastic our recruiting class is, the big thing we got to do here is lock in and get some position changes going. We got a bunch of athletes to work through here, including one guy who's at 57, apparently. We'll figure that one out here in a second, but we have a lot of guys to change their positions, so let's jump into it. All right, Juan Morrison, again, we might adjust him a little bit later, but he could be a pretty good outside linebacker, so I'm going to move him there. And he does have speed rushers, which means I have to adjust him even more, but he's 6'4", 296 now. He's playing D-line. He's going to be right end or left end. We'll put him at left end for right now. James Adler, another guy with a power rusher tendency. I feel like we're going to have a lot of these guys, to be perfectly honest with you. We're going to lump him in at left end for now. Again, we'll adjust some of these guys as we need to. I feel like I recruited just the craziest human beings of all time. Troy McKnight is 6'5", 267. Another large gentleman. I'm going to put him at defensive tackle for the time being. That just feels like a defensive tackle to me. Zombo is probably one of the guys I'm most excited about. He does have power rushers, his ability. We're going to put him at right end, I think, for now. He might get moved around, but Zombo is a dude that has, I believe, an elite dev trait, so he should be incredible for us. Probably sits the first year. I'm seeing a crazy trend here. Darius Johns, another athlete. They're saying probably defensive lineman to some capacity. We're going to put him at right outside linebacker for right now. Dion Maryland, I mean, I feel like I'm literally playing defensive end simulator. I guess I recruited a ton of these dudes, but we're just all moving them there. Okay, finally, somebody who should not be playing in that spot. Tolver is pretty interesting. He was a power back, if I remember correctly. And so if we look at what he's got from like a stat perspective, 93 speed, 91 acceleration. He's got head first, clear-headed, 82 carrier, 74 ball carrier vision. He's probably going to be a project. We're going to put him in halfback for sure. He's going to sit the first year, but he's definitely a power back. Jamie Figures is another guy that's going to be playing at power back. I know he has higher positions he could potentially play. He might even get cut going into next year, but he's good. And then lastly, we have James Peters, who's a 57 overall. They say he could potentially play on the D line. He's 6'4", 306. Buddy, you're playing defensive tackle for me. Little issue propping up here. Ed Harris, who we got in the transfer portal. No one checked his medicals. This man has a complete MCL tear. He's out for 37 weeks. Is he even going to play in this upcoming season? Hello? Now we're getting ready to head into our training results. We didn't really move around a ton of people outside of the athletes. We moved the left tackle to right tackle, moved some of our linebackers around. Bryce Cheek will move to left outside linebacker going forward. But right now, we have the opportunity. I wanted to get program builder, but because we only played a couple of CFP games this year, we played 3 instead of 4, 1 a natty. That's great, but we didn't unlock 5. So we're going to unlock architect as well, which costs us 15 points. We have 7 points left over, and I will probably honestly use those on probably linebackers. Recruiting actions give a bonus to linebackers. We could definitely use that. Looking at our roster, I'm noticing our center went up a couple of points here. Dylan Fowler goes up to a 92 overall for his senior year. As much as we want to move away from him at running back, we can't, okay? He's killing it. James Hester goes up to an 86. Longa goes up to an 85. Clinton's up to an 81. Zach goes up to an 81. I believe Manny Burwell's going to be an 80 overall that just came in. This is going to be a tough one. Like, this is going to be a really tough decision. Hester is really good. Longa showed us that he's really good. He's got stronger throw power, better accuracy for some of the upfront stuff. We got decisions to make. At running back, Fowler's up to a 92. Hartzell's up to a 79 now. I think he went up about 4 points or so. Reyna's to a 78, but we're going to be cutting him. And then Finley goes up to a 77. But I think it's still Dylan Fowler's team. And wide receiver, Quisenberry goes up to an 87. Carmazzi is still capped out at an 86. We're going to try to maybe move our architect stuff up some this season to maybe get him to be a little bit better. Whitehart's an 85. Prater, I don't even know where Prater was. He's an 83 now. Haywood's up to an 82. Berryman didn't really go up much. I think he's stuck at pretty much an 80. There's good depth here, but we've got some demons. At tight end, Lamont Keene is up to an 80. We see Parizo up to a 78. Keaton doesn't really go up much, up to a 77. Boyette at a 76. We are fast here. Keene might be maybe the odd man out. We'll kind of see. He's a blocking tight end, which doesn't really fit what we like to do. At left tackle, we're seeing Spruce up to a 90. Duke up to an 87. I believe Spruce went up really 1 point here. We're stacked at left tackle. Left guard, we got a 90 and an 87 right now. Our freshman, redshirt freshman, by the way, is an 87. He might maybe start at right guard. We'll see what we're looking at there. Again, our center, incredible. We got a lot of people with good depth behind him. At right guard, Hicks is up to an 88, along with Bruner. Hicks has a lot more abilities. If not, I would start Bruner, but dude, we are stacked. I don't care who gets injured on the offensive line. We are stacked this year. And then at right tackle, we have Chauncey Baguette. He's going to be an 87, with Chase behind him as an 85. I mean, I really like what I'm seeing from the O-line. Defensive line, we've got Damian Butts to an 87. I feel like he probably could have been higher, but that's a solid offseason. Yeast and Jew are looking pretty good behind him. At right end, Trapp and Carden are both an 82 overall. Not as much movement really here is what it looks like, but again, most of our guys are above an 80. At defensive tackle, Nowaski's up to an 86. Wenning's up to an 80. Kirkpatrick, again, I like the solid stuff that we have across the entire defensive line. Outside linebacker, Bryce Cheek, an 88 overall now. I believe he was an 86. With Morris up to an 84 behind him. We go to middle linebacker, Sean Lewis, the only really returning middle linebacker, up to an 89 right now, which means he's probably going to be into the 90s by the end of the season. Right outside linebacker, George Jones is up to an 89. Pack behind him at an 86. Watford, the freshman, he'll probably start next year, but he's got to sit one more season. At corner, Emery goes up, I believe, 4 points to an 87. Sylvester's up to an 85. Cole is up to an 80. The redshirt freshman should get some major playing time this year. Uatafi at a 79, Paul 79. Like, this is going to be a really good corner core. They're not as talented as what we had last year. 2 first-round draft picks leave, but I really like how they've netted out. West Potts, I don't think went up at all. He sucked in an 87. Spearman's kind of catching up to an 82 now, but still a lot slower. Do we really want to play him? Strong safety, Biamiri, the guy we love to hate, up to an 82 overall. Not great, but again, probably is going to be our starter this year. Our kicker's up to a 75. I don't know exactly where he was before, and our punter is brand new this year. One of the most difficult moments every season is cutting down the roster, encouraging transfers. Some of these guys we end up playing against in the future, but Quarterback is a really tough one. We've got a stacked room between Longa, Hester, Burwell, and Zach. Clinton is going to be the odd man out. He is a sophomore redshirt. I like him a lot. In a different world, he would have made so much more sense for this team, but we just have hit the lottery with our quarterback situation. So Clinton, he's not going to be starting. I want to give him a chance to go play somewhere else, and he's got to keep it moving. I've talked about it a lot as well. Reyna, just a guy that deserves to go play somewhere else, but he's really not going to have an opportunity to play here. So Reyna's going to be moving on too. Wide receiver is a tough one. We are stacked at wide receiver. So many guys above an 80 overall, so much speed really across the board. Torrey Fink is interesting, doesn't really have any physical abilities. We have like mostly underclassmen. Carmazzi is the oldest guy on our roster right now, wide receiver. I kind of want to see what else we have to work with, but we'll chill for here. At tight end, this is a tough decision as well. Lamont Keene is a guy we're not going to be playing. He's a blocking tight end. We like having more guys that are a little bit faster, get down the field, vertical threat. So Lamont Keene is going to be the odd man out. Another tough one we have to make, I feel like a lot of these, if not all these, are going to be really tough, is at right tackle. Chase is a junior. Behind him is a freshman we got that we're going to sit for a year, Niles Burns, who has 3 abilities. Chase only has 1, and he has 1 mental, where we have 2 mentals from the guy behind him. He's a junior behind 2 seniors. He's never going to play, so we're going to give him an opportunity to play elsewhere. We kind of wait on cutting Josh East, I believe, last season. He also has Platinum Option Disruptor and Recoup, but he's behind Jew, and he's behind Butts, and he's a senior, 63 speed. We like having fast guys off the edge. East, I'm sorry, buddy, but you got to go. Defensive tackle is another crazy one. We've got some guys that are great. I like Cantwell, 95 strength. I like Evanson, 95 strength. There's multiple abilities there. Kirkpatrick doesn't have any abilities. He's probably the weakest guy we have at 83 strength. So we're going to let Kirkpatrick go because we are just beyond deep at this position. At right end, a couple tough ones here. Hook is going to be gone. Jaleel Hook is a guy. He's a junior. He's kind of out of the plans as well. Gaskin, he does have Platinum Recoup, but again, this is a deep position. We've got a lot of underclassmen that are better. We're going to be moving on from him. At free safety, Teron Highsmith is okay. He's a 90 overall, or 90 speed guy with 71 overall, but we've got a way better guy ahead of him. We've got a sophomore ahead of him, and we have a junior there. His time playing is probably not going to come, so Highsmith, go somewhere else. I'm kind of looking at Garrett Hagens in a really similar way. He's super fast, but he's got 2 freshmen behind him that are going to absolutely compete for the starting job, and Amiri is a guy I don't know if we can fully trust. So I'm going to actually take Hagens and transfer him. Despite being a 94 speed guy, we're going to look elsewhere. We have 5 spots left that we have to actually cut here, and I'm really struggling. I think Forrest Toljan is going to be one of the guys cut. 6'2", 191, 90 speed. Those guys are a dime a dozen. It's really tough for some of these freshmen here because we've got a 78 overall redshirt freshman with 93 speed. We've got a 78 overall 97 speed redshirt freshman. Berryman, though, he's got double dip. He has takeoff. He's great, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people ahead of him. He would be number 6 on the depth chart. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to make another tough cut here. Boyette, the sophomore. He's good, but he's number 4 in the depth chart. I don't know if he's going to be able to beat out. It's so close, but he's tied for the slowest. Parizo doesn't have any abilities. He has Recoup. I don't know, man. Okay, we're going to get rid of Boyette. I'm sorry, Leo. 6'2" versus 6'5". Yeah, I'm sorry. You're short. Short king. I'm sorry. Go prosper somewhere else. And then at left tackle, Barteau. We need 3 more people. I think he's going to go a sophomore, 81 overall, tied with a freshman. Multiple guys ahead of him that aren't going to be leaving anytime soon. Barteau will also be leaving. Tommy Bloom, another guy I think we can cut here. We need 2 people left, so Tommy Bloom will be one of them. He's sitting behind some talented people. We've got a freshman pretty close to him, another redshirt freshman, same as him. We're going to move on from Tommy Bloom. And lastly, I think Abdul Cherador. I mean, we could go maybe on the left end side of things, but or defensive tackle. Maybe go defensive tackle at this point. I think Charlie Evans is going to be 95 strength, but I got another guy with 95 strength here. He's got Platinum Recoup and Team Player. But I like that we've got Grip Breaker, Defensive Lineman Rally, and Recoup here. So I'm going to leave Evanson as the odd man out, and we are officially down to 85 people. The next part we jump into is the custom schedule, and I've seen the comments saying, oh, you only play a 4-game conference schedule. Well, dummy. Yeah, dummy. It was actually broken up until I got to this point of the game because of the updates that have happened in the past couple of weeks. Now I can finally have it work as an 8-team conference. Before I made it 8, it would just not work. But now we have it there. With that out of the way, here's what we got right now. We go 4 games starting away at Florida, at Texas A&M, at Alabama, and then at Tennessee. We then go home versus USC. I can't change any of our conference stuff, so they give us all home games here for some reason. But home versus USC, Northwestern, Washington, number 5 Nebraska, number 13 Wisconsin, Minnesota, then away to Michigan, away to Indiana. And if we can survive through that, we deserve the conference championship. Now that you've seen the custom schedule, I want to talk about a couple of quick recruits that I have my eye on that I'm hoping we can land this year. My top priority is getting Bud Ragland. Obviously, you know, Dylan Fowler has been a legend in Cascade Valley, but Bud Ragland could be the single greatest running back prospect I've ever seen. I'm a big fan of power backs in this game, and headfirst, gold balance, and arm bar are incredible already off the jump. But what makes this guy really good, as a power back, he has 96 speed. That is faster than Fowler for us right now. Really good acceleration at 90 overall. 86 stiff arm, 87 carry, 89 trucking, 86 break tackle, 86 strength, 85 agility, 78 ball carrier vision, needs some work. But this is a power back with a gem. I like our chances. And currently, as it stands, after week 0, we are sitting in a really good spot. We are putting the most time and effort into this guy. He's responding really well. We're going to get him on a visit soon, but our schedule is going to be crazy. Another guy I'm super high on is Andre Mangold. This is a defensive tackle. I know we have a zillion defensive linemen, but this guy's an absolute stud. He has platinum grip breaker, duress, and takedown as bronze. 3 mental abilities. He's got 95 strength. He's got 80 pursuit. He's got 87 tackle, 84 power moves. I feel like this guy's probably a day 1 starter as well. And then the last prospect I'll show you is Matt Hayer, a 5-star physical wide receiver, 6'6", 200 pounds, built like Randy Moss. This guy has 50-50 short hands and balance as his abilities from the jump. He is fan favorite, natural, and team player his mental abilities. But he's got 92 speed at 6'6", 98 jumping, 87 release, 90 spectacular catch, great acceleration. I will throw this man deep routes all game long. After winning the national championship, I love how our team developed and how they played, but we have so many decisions to make heading into week 1. Do we start James Hester still? Is it Dean Long a time? There's a lot of different guys that are playing in different positions that we just haven't really seen yet. I have so many unanswered questions, and we have the toughest schedule ever in college football history. Can we repeat as national champions? Well, if we do, we're definitely going to earn it. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.